It's time to get up. Nah. For real. Actual King Smith. Let's go. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What you sleeping on your life for? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Every day's a chance for more. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hands up, let the beat thump. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hey, hey, wake up. Alarm clock ringing, but your mind's still tired. Dreams on snooze, yeah, goals on fire. Everybody talk, but few take steps. Same old excuses, different regrets. I ain't here preaching, I'm here reminded. Pressure make diamonds, time and divine. You got breath in your body, fire in your chest. So why you living like you set up for less? Get up off that couch, move your feet. New mindset every time we meet. No doom scrolling, no fear feet. It's the real talk over funky beats. Wake up, wake up, wake up. What you sleeping on your life for? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Every day's a chance for more. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hands up, let the beat thump. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hey, go, go. No cape, no crown, still king energy. Talk my truth, that's my identity. Life get heavy, yeah, I've been stressed. Still showed up, put hard in the test. If they doubt you, good, prove them wrong. Same doubt, fuel, make you go straight. strong, ain't waiting on luck. I hustle with faith, mind on progress, foot on the gas and say what? Say now, say move, say how. I say what? I say what? Get in the bed, shut up and get up and wake up. Wake up. It's a moment, don't waste none. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Sun still rise, so you ain't done. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Beat knocking, let your soul jump. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Hey, 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 wake up. Yeah. This ain't motivation. This is a reminder. Wake up, wake up. Hey, hey, hey. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is Wake Up with the Actual King Smith. Hope y'all are having a fantastic morning. It is Tuesday, February 24, 2026. We are briskly cruising through this year. And part of that is because it seems like every time something comes up, there's an incident that hits the news. People want to have something to say. Then you go to sleep, wake up. There's a whole nother new fake outrage or something that's going on. And today, I want to highlight and talk about the BAFTA incident in which a person with Tourette's, and there's something specific about Tourette's that I'd like to highlight, got up and said something that is culturally taboo, highly inappropriate, and people want to have outrage. And I'm like, now I think y'all need to understand what's going on with this person and why this person reacted or said what they said. All right. So if you are new to my channel, my name is King. Thank you for tuning in. BAFTA stands for the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, and it's an independent arts charity that celebrates and supports excellence in film, television, and games. And they recently had their celebration here. And an incident occurred that has sparked a lot of conversation around it. And I think a lot of people having the wrong thoughts about what had occurred. Shout out to Jaden over on YouTube for tuning in. Said, yo, what up, Jaden? Appreciate you popping up. All right. So I'm going to play kind of a recap here. I'm not going to play the incident because I can't play certain words on YouTube. But I'm going to play this recap, and I want y'all to take a look at what I'm talking about here. If you're like, wait, King, what are you even talking about? Pay attention.
John Davidson shocked the BAFTA Awards with racial slurs and abuses. Davidson threw the N-word at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who were on stage presenting an award. He later also yelled, "Shut up," to BAFTA chair Sarah Putt, and "F you" at the directors of Boom. The room froze, but he didn't mean to offend. Davidson is a Tourette syndrome activist and the real-life inspiration behind the BAFTA-nominated film I Swear.
So if you want to know who John Davidson is, the person that everybody rage about, that's who he is. And that's why he was there, right? But it doesn't matter. You don't need to, you could have Tourette's and be anywhere. And it is something that we're going to talk about later because there's a specific form of Tourette's, or a certain type of a tic is what it's called, that occurs that people have no control over.
Tourette syndrome can cause involuntary vocal tics, including sudden shouting, profanity, or offensive language, with no warning and no control. Before the ceremony even began, the audience had been warned this might happen. Host Alan Cumming stepped in and saved the day by clarifying that's how Tourette's shows up for some people, and thanked the audience for their understanding. Davidson later left the ceremony quietly. Did this moment create awareness, or did it go too far for a live award show?
Now, this is the man right here, John Davidson, and these were the two people that happened to be on stage when he said the N-word. Now, if you can see my cursor here, on the left is Michael B. Jordan. He's a Black American actor. The young man is got several films under his belt. He's fantastic. On the right with the glasses is Delroy Lindo, which I like that name, Delroy. It's like Elroy. You don't catch many people named Delroy who's alive in today's society. But Delroy right here in the glasses is an OG actor. Both of those men played in the movie called Sinners that released in 2025. And I want to kind of tie in something about the word that was said against both these actors, or while both of those actors were up there, that, in my opinion, makes it so that I'm not trying to excuse what John Davidson did, but I'm going to make an attempt to tie in why it happened. All right. So that's what we're doing today for about the next 20 or so minutes. That was the person. I've already discussed what happened. Now, some people's outrage stems at the fact that the BBC, which broadcast this show or this awards section on a 2-hour delay, failed to edit out the slur, leading to a public outcry and subsequent apology by BAFTA and the BBC, which, if anybody wants to have outrage, the people that were there understood why they were there. I'm pretty sure that some of the people that were there might have had some type of feelings about what had occurred anyway, but you understood what Tourette's was, or at least you had a simple understanding. And there's this different part that I want to highlight, and it's called Coprolalia. Okay, and I'm going to talk about what Coprolalia is. Let me get it up here and put it on the screen so that you can see the word. And you're like, King, how do you even spell Coprolalia? Coprolalia. That's how it's pronounced right there. It is up on the screen. Coprolalia. It's so many damn syllables. I'm glad that I'm able to say it. But coprolalia is involuntary swearing and slurs that occurs in about 10 to 15% of people that are diagnosed with Tourette's. And if you're sitting here like, okay, I've heard of that. Most people, when they think about Tourette's, they think about what coprolalia is, because you might catch people that are online personalities that showcase what their Tourette's is. And when you hear some of the stuff, people with coprolalia, because they say things that are really culturally taboo, most people laugh, right? And you can even read some things and go, man, I wish I had something like that where I could say what I wanted to say and it be excused because you have this involuntary thing. And anybody with Tourette's, if you said that in front of them, would slap you, because of course they would not want to be doing, because there's several things that are involved with having Tourette's, right? You've got the neurological motor things. You have to have 2 to 3 things be present to get a Tourette's diagnosis. And one of those has to do with your motor skills, or things that you do with your hands or your body, actually. So it's not just your hands. It could be your face. It could be your feet, your hands, or anything. Things like involuntary stuff like this, where you just have to just do something with your motor skills. And then some type of auditory thing, which it could be like a, or you make like a noise like a meh every time you have to get through the tick. All right. Now, there's simple ticks, which I just discussed, like sudden movements. It could be eye blinking, shoulder shrugging, or sounds like clearing your throat. And you can't control these. There's complex ticks, which are more longer coordinated patterns, like touching objects or repeating phrases. And I've got a video and a content creator that I'm going to put up who has Tourette's, that has coprolalia, and is going to talk about and give her case on what happens. And for Tourette's to be diagnosed, you have to have at least both, which is 2 motor tics or things and 1 vocal for a diagnosis. And again, coprolalia is the involuntary use of obscene or socially unacceptable language, and only 10 to 15% of people with Tourette's has it, but it is the most stigmatized system that is out there, while also being one of the rarest. But when people think about Tourette's, they think about coprolalia. There's echolalia, meaning the repeated words and phrases that are often spoken by others. Palalia actually, is repeating one's own words, and copropraxia is involuntary performance of obscene gestures. All right. So now that you have a little bit of a background, I'm going to present this other video here of someone that has Tourette's and coprolalia. And I want y'all to ask yourselves this, right? And then I'm going to tie in why I think that the word that John Davidson said is a word that occurs, and he wasn't trying to be rude, not based on his diagnosis, but I think by our own cultural use of the word, like the N-word and things like that. So let me come in here. Did she private her videos? I think she privated her videos. Oh, no, she didn't. Okay, so this is somebody that has an Instagram page, Kill Kyoshi. Her name's Shayla. Shayla has coprolalia, and I'm going to play one of her Instagram videos in which she talks about reminding people that she has Tourette's. So let's get over here and let me share her Instagram page. Take a listen. Not that one. Here we go.
Critical kitchen. Is that the Grim Reaper? What the fuck? Sorry. Shut up. Gonna touch you. It's a cultural divide. I'm gonna get it on the floor.
There's a bee. Hello. Hey.
This is her in public.
We're getting shot. But Ray's right here. And the parade is going on.
Trying to find one where she has some inappropriate stuff.
Shut up. Sarange, Mickey. Sarange.
Here we go.
Mary Balin.
What if my dad is like, not happening, bud?
I'm gonna talk to you and Julie real quick.
Okay.
I would like to have both of your blessings to have your daughter's hand in marriage.
Colin told Balin's parents in advance that he planned to propose to Balin during the family beach trip. He hoped her parents...
Let me actually go to Balin's page. I'm sorry. I'm going to get there, y'all. I'm going to get there. So Balin definitely says a lot of inappropriate things. She definitely has coprolalia, and a lot of people thinks that she's making this up. So
hi everybody, we just got back from dinner, and I just wanted to let you guys know where we got our outfits from because we're totally bumming it. The ammo bust my ass! So, starting off, I have my brand Beautifully Complex, and then I have these sweatpants that are Fashion Nova, and then I have my Fugs from TJ Maxx, and then I have my purse also from TJ Maxx, and then this was the necklace I wore in season 2 interviews, and then have my aura, big dick, boulder, and I have my earrings from my dad. It's Colin's turn. Colin!
Here for you.
Here for you in that dick.
So even he had to laugh because one of the things that she likes to say is that dick. Like, and she heard that phrase from somewhere. And there is another person with Tourette's that they traveled to France. Never spoken French, barely heard French outside of a phrase or so that might be on television. And one of the things that they said about their Tourette's is that they associated hearing certain phrases while they were out to certain things. And because of their neurological disorder with Tourette's, every time that they see bread, they start speaking some of the French phrases that they heard, and people assume that the person knows French. No, it's their Tourette's tick.
Target sweatpants, Brooks shoes, and Apple Watch.
Had to show that off.
I did have to show that off.
Hi, everyone.
We found another
Guys,
thing.
I'm unboxing my brand Beautifully Complex. Goddamn! Dick swab. And we just came out with hats, so I wanted to show you guys them. This is the first time that I'm seeing them as well, so yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting that I have my own brand that resembles everybody, which is Beautifully Complex, so it's pretty nice. Cute. Okay. Then we got an orange one. As you guys can tell, I love color. Color means everything to me. God damn! Colin sucks a lot of dick. Colin sucked George Washington's dick. Colin sucked Austin's dick. Colin sucked Colin's dick. Aiden and Josie's mom's getting dick down in Dallas and dick down in Denver. Then we have the orange one. Love the orange on orange. Little flowers. Cute. I used to wear hats every day in college because it helped my barrier with hitting myself. And then we got these type of hats. I don't know what type of hats these ones are called, where they have like the little flappy lid. Sorry, the flappy lid. I don't know what this is.
Let's see if I can find one more with her. This is, let's do this one here.
Hey, dick swab. Hi, everybody. I'm with Colin. Colin! And we're going to let you guys know where we got our outfits from. We just got back from date night. So my jacket is from Guess. I guess you have a little baby weenie. Spotted. Alone in his safari. In a cheap baby weenie. My other jacket underneath is from TikTok Shop. And then my sweatpants are from Urban, which, fun fact, I pretty much get all my dick from Urban Outfitters. All my sweatpants from Urban Outfitters. And then my Fugs are from TJ Maxx. And I have my aura, my boulder, and my earrings my dad got me for Christmas. Hit it.
My jacket
That's bullshit!
So, that's Balin. That is Balin. She's one of the other people that has coprolalia that by bringing awareness, she goes on and she talks about coprolalia, showcases her tics to people so that there's awareness of it. Now, as you can imagine, right, if you have coprolalia and you're living with something that gives you this neurological urge to go out and say inappropriate things, I can imagine how embarrassing some of the things must be, especially when you're aware that these things are inappropriate, right? And how I want to tie what happened at BAFTA together is this. You had this person, which I'm going to make an assumption here. I'm going to make an assumption that John Davidson saw Sinners. And I'm going to make an assumption that he heard the word, which used the hard ER, not the one that ended in A, but the hard ER at the very end. And I Googled because there was somebody that said, oh, he didn't have to use that word, right? But I want you to think about this. In that movie, Sinners, I looked at the transcript. And I was curious how many times the ER was said in the movie. And it was only said twice. Let me be specific. The hard ER version of the N-word was said 2 times versus the one that the N-word that ends in A that was said multiple times. I didn't get the exact count because I only cared about how many times it was said with the hard ER at the end. Now, somebody with coprolalia is going to hear a certain word or a phrase and neurologically have an association with something that when you put the actors of Sinners up on the screen, in which at one point the hard ER word was said about one or both of them from the movie, someone with coprolalia can have an involuntary tic that says that word. And that's why I think that the outrage directed at the person, directed at John Davidson, is fake. I think it's not appropriate to put the outrage towards him. What I think the outrage needs to be is towards the BBC for airing the incident, especially when they had the opportunity to edit it. That's why I think that the outrage needs to be. And I made my case to say as much, and people in the audience came after me. So I'm going to come in here. Let me see if I could find the original incident that I made the comments on and highlight what people like Jamie Foxx said. So Jamie Foxx came in and he said something about that the guy just wanted to say it and things like that. And then other people are coming in and saying, how many other slurs have this person ever said in his life? And I'm like, well, you have to understand the type of exposure and things that somebody with coprolalia and Tourette hear for it to then be able to be in the lexicon of whatever ticks and how it affects them. So if you're hearing more of one word through a certain medium or in your daily life, like you can hear the N word in music or art forms in TV shows or movies, then somebody with coprolalia is going to be a little bit more exposed to hearing stuff like that. Like Balin, she's heard a lot of dick and things that's why that tick shows up more for her, because of the environment that she's in and where she's lived. But I can almost guarantee that if you put somebody like Balin and you have her listen to music that has the N-word or TV shows that uses the N-word, even something that has like the hard ER at the end of it, that Balin will end up having a tick with coprolalia and end up saying the N-word with the hard ER herself. So I'm going to play one last video here, and I'm going to say what Kill Kiyoshi gave and why she thought that it was unfortunate all around and what her thoughts were for the BAFTA incident.
Ignore how I look right now. Great Kenshin. I am not feeling too great. However, there is something I have been asked to talk about, and that is going to be the BAFTA situation. I have been seeing a bunch of outrage about it, people saying, oh, well, why would that even be in his vocabulary? He did that on purpose and all of this stuff, and that racism is to excuse. A very sad day for the Tourette syndrome community, especially for the ones that have coprolalia, because when you come online and you see thousands of people hating on your condition, specifically coprolalia, because that's something that is already very embarrassing for all of us. I'm not going to say that people can't be offended by the fact that somebody said the N-word as a tick. However, it's not something that somebody can control. It's not something that somebody wants to say. And I've been seeing a lot of people be like, well, he said it like when the crowd went silent. That is most likely when a tic is going to happen when you're in public, when you're in complete silence, or when you're trying not to say or do something. So we must understand what coprolalia is. Coprolalia causes involuntary swearing and inappropriate tics. This can include the N-word, slurs, etc. I am a Black person, and even I have the N-word tic and slurs as tics. This is something I don't see many talk about because of situations like this. Is it a disappointing thing? Shut up! That it happened in public in front of that entire crowd, specifically to Michael B. Jordan and the other presenter. I'm so sorry, I do not know his name. I wish I did, but no disrespect to him. I just am not too aware. Yes, it is a very unfortunate situation. Seeing so many people say that they would invoke violence against people with coprolalia if they can't control their tics. That's ableism. The fucked up thing that this happens, yes, but it's something that we can't control. Aggression in the brain being triggered, shut up, and ultimately causing inappropriate tics. Michael B. Jordan and the other presenter have the right to be upset, especially if they were not aware. However, we need to understand and educate ourselves. And on my videos, I constantly see people saying, oh my god, so funny, if I had cursing tics, I would be laughing all the time. But when people actually have cursing tics, then it's offensive and they're a bad person and this and that, the third. We need to do better. We need to educate ourselves better. This is not me saying that people don't have the right to be offended. However, you can't be offended when a disabled person is disabled. I might make a part 2 to this. There's a lot that I need to say, but this is part 2 to my last post.
All right. So that right there, Kill Kiyoshi, somebody who has an Instagram profile that showcases her life and her living with Tourette's and coprolalia, which is a form of a tic that people with Tourette's could have. And again, that's only 10 to 15%. She came on and explained her point of view from it. And when she talked about it being unfortunate that you saw people that said that they would do physical violence towards people that would say certain offensive things, that part right there stood out to me. Because there's a comedian, Tony Baker. I like Tony Baker, right? Everybody's going to have their opinion on this. And Tony Baker wrote something where he said initially that he would have Tourette's of the hands if he was standing up there and somebody said the N-word with the hard ER towards him. And I kind of expanded on that last part right there. But I'm going to come out here and see if I can find the original thing where Tony Baker said, here it is right here, found it. What if I have fist to mouth Tourette's? And I'm going to see if I can make this bigger. That's what she said. Make it bigger. What if I have fist to mouth Tourette's? You got Sleek Johnson right here. If playing in your face was a person. And I came on and I wrote what I wrote right here where I said you can't blame the person for what their brain hears. Dr. Boyce Finance came here. Let me see what he wrote. I don't know why we overreact to the N-word when a white person says it. We sit here and let rappers who are controlled by corporations call us the N-word every other day. It's time for us to grow up and start acting like real men. I don't know if I agree with that. Let me see. Where's Will Smith when you need him? This person right here, nah, this was deliberate. Tourette's is a control issue. The N-word was already in his mind. But I would say why? Why was the N-word there? Let me see if I can bring myself back up on the screen here, but make this part of the screen bigger. Why is the word there? Another person first. Why is he even there if they know he can make random outbursts that can disturb the show? You can't control Tourette's. So are you saying that somebody that has Tourette's shouldn't be at events? They can't be out in public, Russell Drake? Come on, man. People need to educate themselves about this. Tony Baker on a different post did later say that he needs to be a little bit more aware of what Tourette's is and how it manifests and comes up on people. And I'll give him that. I've known about Tourette's for for about 20 or so odd years and different levels of Tourette's because I have a speech impediment. People don't know that. I used to go to speech therapy when I was younger because I have a stutter. I am a covert stutterer. And I knew somebody when I was in speech therapy that had Tourette's. They had a mild form of it, but they would say some very inappropriate things as they got diagnosed when they were younger. As they got older, their neurological symptoms improved. But I've known about it because I knew somebody that had it. So that's how I was aware of it. Not anecdotal, not I only see Balin or Shayla on Instagram and they've got these things that they do and people find it cute or funny. No. I can't imagine living with Tourette's and having coprolalia and being exposed to certain words or certain things that would make me go, I don't want to be in public or around people that don't know about this condition, that don't know who I am, because it is embarrassing. It can be embarrassing, I should say. I don't care if you have Tourette's, Burlette's, or free bets. That's absolutely not okay. Out of all of the words you could say, you choose that one. Again, I will probably say that John Davidson had saw the movie Sinners. And in the movie Sinners, they say the N word that ends in an A a whole lot of times. I wish I had the exact number, but I know that they said the hard ER twice based on the transcript of the script. So that's my take on it, y'all. I think that the outrage is fake. I think that people are misplaced by how they feel about Tourette's. And I think that there are a lot of ignorant people that doesn't understand what coprolalia is and need to educate themselves a little bit more on Tourette's. And they need, I think those people that have a lack of an understanding of what Tourette's is should apologize. John Davidson came out and apologized and tried to offer, why it happened, right? I think that everybody else that doesn't know about Tourette's needs to have an understanding on it. That's my time, y'all. I gotta bounce because I'm over time.